guys. I just recorded this entire lesson and it disappeared. So here I am again recording this lesson for you. Okay, hopefully this one works. All right, so what you're going to work on today is you're analyzing dot plots. Okay, you're going to see some dot plots. I'm going to give you 5 dot plots that you're going to tell me how you read the information on that. Okay, so you're going to look at the title of it, and you're going to look at what the dots mean, how many people they represent, and you're going to tell me all that information. Okay, you're going to do this through Canvas. You'll see a dot plot like this one. There's going to be a text entry box at the bottom, and you're going to type in your answers, okay? And you're going to type in what you read, what you see on this dot plot, and you're going to explain it to me, okay? So let's look at a dot plot together, and let me tell you the things that I want you to type out for me, okay? So you're going to see one that looks like this. The title of this one is exercise, okay? And so what this is exercise, and this has an H on it, so that's going to stand for hours. It doesn't tell us if this is per day or per week. I'm just going to assume it's per week because I see a 12 here, so that's 12 hours. Not many people exercise for 12 hours in a day, so I'm going to say this is probably a week. Okay. It also does not tell you what the dots represent. If we're talking about how many hours exercise in a week, we're probably talking about people. Okay. So what kind of things can we type out and get? What kind of information can we get from this dot plot? Well, okay, so let's start here with the 0. I've got 1 dot on the 0, and what that means is one person exercises for 0 hours during that week. Okay, there is not a label here, but we can assume based on the way it's counting here that this is a 0. This is going to represent 1, and that's because that's 2, and then we have 3, and then 4, and so on. So right here we have 3 dots, 3 people who exercise for 1 hour during the week. Okay, so I would type that in. 3 people exercise 1 hour. Then I have 3 more people who exercise for 2 hours. Okay, now I'll type that in. 2 people who exercise for 3 hours. Then come all the way down here, and so I'm gonna get this data, and then I'm just not gonna explain every single one of them to you guys because I don't want to waste your time. I think you can get this, and then you can type this all out. Down here we have 2 people who exercise for 12 hours during the week. Okay, last one right here. Okay, so we have on this one, we have 2 dot plots. We have exercise and we have video games. So this is, since they're together, we can say this is video games, this is hours. This is how many hours they spent playing video games during the week. So right here we have one person who spent 0 hours during the week playing video games. That would be me. I don't play video games very often. Okay, maybe the person who played 0 hours of video games, maybe they're the ones who did 12 hours of exercise. Okay, so one person who did 0 hours of video games during the week. I have 2 people here who did 6 hours of video games. One person who did 7 hours of video games. Okay, and so that's typing out every single one of these numbers is going to take a little bit of time. So so maybe you can just give me 5 examples from each one of them. Okay, just tell me, just pick some of these random numbers. Okay, so I have 2 people who did 9 hours of video games, and I can type that one out. And then I can say I have 1 person did 14 hours of video games during the week and type that out. So you don't have to type me every single one of these numbers because that could take you a while. If you want to type every one of them out, go for it. But you have 5 different dot plots to look at. Here's another dot plot. Here it is. This one, you're going to read it just a little bit differently. This right here, it says a dot plot of weekly test result averages. Okay, weekly test result averages. And this one has 2 different colors of dots. Green represents girls. I'm going to call this purple, represents boys. So right here I have 1 green dot on a 10. So these are test result averages every week. So I have 1 girl who gets a 10 on her test. So she doesn't do very well on her tests. I have another girl that gets a 20 on her tests every week. I have a purple one here, so that represents a boy. I have 1 boy who gets a 30 on his test every week. 1 boy who gets a 40 on his test every week. So I have these 4 kids don't do too well. Thankfully for that teacher, the higher grades have more students. Right here on the 80, I have 1, 2, 3 boys and 1, 2, 3 girls. So I have 6 students total who get an 80 on their test every week. I have 2 boys and one girl who get a 90 on their test every week. Okay. And so if this one shows up on your assignment, you're going to pick like 5 or 6 of these different numbers and type them out to me. You could say one girl and one boy get a 100 on their test every week, and you would type that out down in the text box. Okay. Now, let's say you've finished and you've analyzed all 5 of these dot plots. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to create a dot plot for me. Now, some of you are concerned, saying that you don't have enough time to finish your assignments. I try to give you plenty to work on, and because if you don't have anything to work on, then that's when we start playing around and goofing off and get in trouble with the sub. So I try to give you a lot to work on. If you don't have time, don't stress out about it. Just get done what you can get done. It's not going to be the end of the world if you don't finish, as long as you're not playing around. Okay. So if you have time, then you're going to make a dot plot for me. Okay. And so the next assignment is going to take you to one that looks like this. Okay. And you're going to make one from here. All right. So when you get here, you're going to go to dot. I'm going to click dot. Okay. And right here. No, I'm sorry. Right here where it says title. I'm going to make up a title. Let's see. What kind of information can we look for? What kind of information can we put into here? Let's see here. How much TV watched in a week? Okay, so that put my title on there. Okay. And I'm going to put minutes down here. Okay, so I don't want 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minutes. Those labels are right here. I'm going to change those. I'm going to say 30 minutes. Okay, and maybe someone watches for a full hour, so I'm going to put 60 minutes. All right. And I'm going to change it to 2 hours. That's going to be 120 minutes. 3 hours. We'll change it to 180 minutes. And then let's do this one as 240. That's 4 hours. And I put the plus sign after it because that's 4 hours or more. Okay. So how many people do I want to have watched 30 minutes of TV in a week? Not many people do that. So I'm going to put 8. So right here in the values, that's where I'm going to change how many dots. They're separated by the comma. So this first number is going to go in the first column here. Okay. Most people watch more than just 30 minutes a week. Okay. Let's say 5 people. You can see that it disappeared here. I'm going to say 5 people watched for 60 minutes that week. Okay. That's an hour a week. That's not much. Let's say 2 people watched for 120 minutes. 10 people watched for 180 minutes. So 10 people watched 3 hours of TV that week. Okay. Now, I bet a lot of you watch a ton of TV during the week. So this one right here is 4 hours or more. So how many people do I want to say watch 4 hours or more TV in a week? Ooh, look at that. Okay, and so kind of play around with that. Figure out what you want your title to be. Figure out if this is going to be minutes or hours or in the example here, these numbers represented their scores on the test. Okay, so as I'm making this one, this could have been scores. Okay, so you can maybe think of what are some other things that we could record the data for in a week or maybe in a day, or you could do scores on tests, maybe scores in a basketball game. You could keep track of, maybe you could think, how many people scored 2 points in the basketball game? How many people scored 10 points in the basketball game? And just kind of play around with it. I'm letting you guys work with a partner on this, and so you guys can talk to each other and figure out what you want. Once you're satisfied with this dot plot, you're going to hit save. Okay. Once you've hit saved, it's going to pop it up in a new tab, and then you're going to right click on it and you're going to save the image. Okay. Figure out where you want to save it, hit save, and then you're going to submit this saved picture into Canvas and send that to me. Okay. Once you finish with that, you guys know what you're supposed to work on. You can do, you can finish any work that you didn't do last week. If you forgot to email me yesterday, you can email me. If you have a piece of writing that you need to work on, you can work on it. You want to read, you want to do Xavier's math, you want to do any of those kind of things, you can do that. I do not want anybody working on Google slides or anything like that this week, okay? You have some other stuff that you can do, okay? All right, that's it. Hopefully you know how to do this and you're able to work on this, and that's it. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.